Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast, and with me are...
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
This is Wendy, also known as Ninja Jupi or Jupi-chan. You can call me whatever you want, but you know what? Forget about me. I'm going to turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that saw Deadpool versus Wolverine, Johnny
Rodriguez.
Just any super quick thoughts on the movie, just since you all saw it. I want to say it was a lot of fun. I love the intro, the whole intro scene. Yep. And I feel it's like the perfect like swan song, kind of like farewell to like the overall Fox Marvel verse from back in the day. It was super awesome.
I like all the I like the badass fourth wall joking. But it's Deadpool, so that's to be expected. But it was just so on the nose for most of these. Like, really on the nose. And Hugh Jackman's six-pack was very nice. And maybe partial CG, but you know.
Oh, I think it's a good movie. It's a badass movie, and I like how they have all the cameo characters from the X-Men and Fantastic Four, and I don't want to say too much because otherwise it defeats the purpose of actually watching the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
But from what I have seen, it is very good. Considering that I probably forgot by now most of the storyline from the previous movies, but it's still a good, entertaining film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jupes put it best when she said it's a great swan. When you guys said it's a great swan song to the Fox franchises of films, because there wasn't just the X-Men. Like they owned a lot of stuff. But it was also, what was really cool is I also love the huge tributes to the comic readers like me who grew up reading like specifically the X-Men comics, like the whole, the montage scene, which one I'm talking about. And like so many things that were just Easter eggs, and it was just like, it was almost like Marvel was essentially saying, thank you. And I was like, wow, you're welcome. Like, and the fact that there was also a lot of so many Easter eggs, but nothing like one of them, it doesn't spoil the movie at all. In the opening credits, when they were, listing who produced the movie, there was a woman named Barbara something. She was the original producer of the X-Men universe, and Kevin Feige was her assistant producer when he first started in the industry, but he never got credit for it. So now she and him were on the same credit list, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's cool how it all kind of came full circle like that. It's really cool how that ended up working. Yeah, but it was a blast.
Oh, but my joking aside with what I was saying earlier, something that I did like about the movie is the fact that you don't have to, you just have to know a little bit about the other movies to understand this one going in, because like for me, I never watched a lot of X-Men films. I only watched like the very first one, Fantastic Four. I only saw like the first original one. After that, I just never watched past that. So like I said, it was nice that I could like get everything, even though I haven't seen everything. And I understood the TVA stuff because I watched Loki. So,
Yeah.
No, I did. I'm pretty sure everyone did.
They were doing a fun fact thing where Ryan Reynolds' wife plays Lady Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds, I guess their more toddlerish child plays that little kid Deadpool, and their baby plays baby Deadpool. I kind of know how they did that because the baby wearing the outfit and stuff, but damn.
Yeah, and also and this I can spoil because there's an actual collectible popcorn thing of it. The flying head Deadpool was voiced by Nathan Fillion, who voiced Deadpool in the animated series. So he voiced him in the animated Spider-Man. He voiced Deadpool. So it's like, oh, you actually got him to go. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And my brother was like, well, why didn't they get the guy who did the voice in the video game? I said, maybe it's contracts. I don't know.
Yeah.
here we go.
All right, so anyways, guys, let's get to the real thing. So this time we're going to be mostly talking about Death Before Dishonor 2024, Ring of Honor, and we're going to kind of get to the point a little bit. We missed the 0 hour. It was just a very, very busy weekend. We watched it later on. So we're going to go straight to the pay-per-view. But before that, Jack has some very, very juicy tidbits in the world of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Lots of gossip and stuff. So let's check it out. Some gossip that might even involve the reason of why Jukes is wearing this shirt in particular. So let's see.
Well, okay, so the first bit of gossip is, well, it's kind of, there was already reports about it yesterday about in regards to Britt Baker and MJF got into an altercation backstage, stemming, basically culminating in Britt Baker getting
Suspended.
definitely suspended and fined until All In because they're not going to throw that match away.
So she's on vacation until All In. Gotcha.
Yeah, basically.
AEW.
And at first, the original reports was MJF in real life is dating a girl named Rachel Atout, I think that's her name,
A toot.
or Alicia
Atout.
Atout.
It's a toot.
A
Canadian name.
Atout. Yeah. Atout. Anyway,
French.
whatever her name. The backstage correspondent. Anyway, so apparently the original report was that she was talking on behalf of the women in the locker room because MJF kept hanging out in the women's locker room to talk to his girlfriend, and it was kind of just uncomfortable for the women. And then she mentioned it to her. MJF heard about it, got confrontational, and that's where we are now. But now there's an update on the report from multiple sources that the true reason the whole fight started was because Britt Baker was complaining because of the match between MJF and Will Ospreay on Dynamite being way, way, way too long. She's like, it was way too long. We're kind of taking away time from the other people performing. We're taking away this. It's just for these two. And apparently MJF got into a tizzy about it and saying like, oh, who are you to blah, 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 and got all up in her face about it. And Will Ospreay actually ended up being the one having to separate the two. And that's so if that's the case, I'm like, wow, you know, I'm not shocked, but I'm also shocked that MJF of all people can't be more professional. I guess. I don't know. I also don't understand, other than favoritism, why he wasn't punished. Like, even a little bit. Like, I would understand if, like, it was just, I would understand if it's like, and it's also like, I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. I wanted to know what you guys thought about the whole situation.
I thought, when I found out about that, I thought it was ridiculous that MJF didn't get suspended for that, honestly, because she's entitled to her opinion. I mean, if she felt the match went too long, and she's not really lying, it is taking time away from all the other people on the roster. But at the same time, there are two big draws for the company, so what can you do? And then the only bad thing is people painting her in a bad light, saying, oh, she's just being a prima donna because she don't have her time. But the impression I'm getting is she was saying in general it's taking time from everybody, not just her. But she complained about that before, at least a couple of years ago. I remember she was complaining that the women weren't getting enough of a spotlight out there, so people probably viewing her as a bit of a troublemaker. But honestly, I can't really disagree with what she said. I just think MJF should have, well, first of all, he shouldn't be in the women's locker room. I mean, that's, full stop. He really shouldn't be in there. But I don't know.
Any athlete, any sport will tell you that spouses, girlfriends, family members, should not be in the locker room. Like,
yeah, and that's
go
the other
multiple
thing.
places to talk,
And that's the other
That's the
thing.
whole thing.
Yeah, because she's not even a wrestler. Like, you
Yeah,
can kind of pass it. Like, if it was like Jack Perry talking to what's her face,
Anna Jay.
kind of makes sense, sort of. But like, she's not even a wrestler, so or related to AEW. She's not employed by AEW in any way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah,
No,
just-
she's the backstage. She's a backstage correspondent, but even still, she's not an athlete, so she doesn't need to go in the locker room, or he doesn't need to go in the locker room for the female athletes. Like, there's a reason, and here's the thing: it's not a matter of like gender politics thing. It's a simple matter of like a courtesy to the rest of the people. If they're all sharing a locker room, it's a community thing that should only be agreed upon by the community. And he had no reason to be there. And technically she didn't either, because she's not like, she doesn't use
not a
the women's
wrestler,
locker room.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a wrestler. So really, neither of them really should be there, because literally whatever conversation you could have could be done as easily in the hallway, or like, I'm sure wherever arena they're in, I'm sure there's like an empty room they can just talk in or whatever. You know, it's like, it's just unnecessary. And I am on the opinion of, if this whole report is true, that first of all, it's proving more and more what I've been saying before, Punk is right. But he's just proven Punk right, man. They're just proving him right more and more. But the other thing is that he, I do agree with Britt, not that the match was too long. It was too long.
Wait, Ricky Rox is
for
here?
television.
Yeah, Britt. Oh, I heard.
he was too, if Britt was right, not in the fact that the match was too long, it was too long for television, which I agree. For a televised match, because also that match shouldn't have happened on TV. That match should have happened on TV.
No. That's pay-per-view level.
But yeah, either way, it's still pretty weird, and Britt shouldn't have gotten suspended. She pretty much voiced her opinion. She got attacked over it, and then she got suspended. It's kind of like that one example we did back with the CM Punk kind of thing. It's kind of like Jack attacks William, but William gets suspended. What? You know, like...
It's pure favoritism, or like how Punk was suspended for what, almost a year, and the Bucks were suspended for 6 weeks, and you're like, what the fuck? And it was like, it's pure favoritism. What do you think, Johnny?
Okay, so I do agree that there definitely is a lot of favoritism, because this just goes all the way back to the CM Punk situation. I know some people are probably tired of CM Punk. Like, they don't want people to always talk about CM Punk, but the truth is that the way they mishandled that case really shows the type of favoritism AEW has. I mean, then frickin' Jack Perry came back like nothing, and he's doing a whole bunch of stupid shit, but he doesn't get, I don't know, it's just stupid. And then like I don't think the Britt Baker situation is grounds for her to get like suspended. And in the very least, if they're gonna suspend her, maybe like for a couple of days, but not like a whole fucking 2 weeks or whatever. Like she didn't. I mean, all she did was just voice her opinion. So I guess you can't voice your opinion that you didn't like certain matches because, according to them, they took it as, I hate MJF and Will Ospreay, which I don't think she didn't say she hates them. All she just said is that their matches were too long.
Yeah, but even if she said that she hates Ospreay and MJF, that's still not ground for suspension. And another thing also is that even though, technically speaking, she'll still be at All In time, I mean, you're still missing 2 weeks worth of promos and shit talking or whatever against
Build up.
build up.
In reality, the only time that the time and place where Britt Baker should have gotten in trouble, I guess, what it was at the Comic Con, because she was still
but that was
no, but so no. Johnny's right, because the thing of it is, that was during a panel, and at one point, like, they were confronting and they were fighting each other, or not fighting each other, but like getting all up in each other's faces, and then they all had to be separated. And I literally, everyone in the comments were more like, instead of going, instead of, this is what the community has devolved into, of what the AEW fans and the actual wrestling, or the other wrestling fans, they literally go, wow, I hope Tony Khan is safe and he's not in fear of his life. Because literally, I'm like, exactly. Like, that was all the comments were like, is Tony okay? Is Tony okay? Is Tony okay? And it was all of that. And it's so true. It's so true. That's what you've done, man. You've done it to yourself. You put on the clown makeup. And then here's the other problem. All In is going to be their make or break. As messed up as that is to say. I know I keep saying that, but I mean this sincerely. This may be their last ditch effort to sell out like a big show, because WWE has already been in talks to host within the next 2 or 3 years a WrestleMania in London at Shea Stadium. And they've already met with the mayor of London. And so it's already a thing. And I'm like, so you only got this show and you don't even know how to run your own show. And you've had over a year to build it. And not only that, you got the controversy of that. You've got the controversy of the other controversy that's happening is Sammy Guevara is now in Ring of Honor as per he's now officially in Ring of Honor and not allowed back in AEW because of, they won't say it, but because of Mercedes Moné.
I thought the team wanted to do an angle that they were pitching to him and he didn't like it. Like, that'll work for me, brother.
Nope.
Probably have to become
literally
he was
kicked out. He was kicked out of the locker room of AEW.
Oh.
They don't want him in AEW. They want him in Ring of Honor. So that's literally why he's there. Per Mercedes, she said, I don't feel comfortable with him in a locker room, backstage, or sharing an arena with him.
Oh, she said that even after they apparently.
That's one of the reports I read, and that's that's one of the sources I heard, and I'm like, well, and she's got creative control, so like. And I'm like, but I thought, and then what I heard was, and then everyone's response to that, the people that I heard from, their response was like, wait, I thought you guys were good. I thought it was water under the bridge. And the response to that was like, apparently not. Ever since she's left WWE, and she went in Japan. So basically, she went to Japan, and off of the notion of, oh, I'm such a good wrestler. I'm such a good wrestler. She goes to Stardom, actually fights wrestlers, not entertainers, wrestlers, and gets her ass kicked and like is hurting. And then she gets this chip on her shoulder of like, I need to be protected. And then so now she's in AEW where she gets pampered like a princess. So now she has this notion. I mean, she just divorced her husband of 8 years.
Yeah, another.
And so
yeah.
So it's just like, it's literally like you're giving a person with a massive ego tons of money, creative control. She has apparently pull enough to push people out of the locker rooms, and you wonder why your place is in chaos. And then not only that, she got to hire her own writer to an AEW contract. That's what's been happening. They've been having favoritism contracts. So basically, like, hey, you sign with us, we'll do a +1 to a person you like. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, apparently that's what what's his name? There's so many people that are doing that. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you gonna get? You're gonna get what if Britt Baker gets a dog? You're gonna give the dog trainer $1 million to babysit their dog in the middle of her match? Like, is that how that's gonna work? Because I'm like, dude, that's not how you run a company, bro.
I'm sorry, man.
Anyway,
you ship at this point. So it's too much crazy.
Anyway, the other thing that's going on is this is just a little aside from AEW, is also that apparently Jacob Fatu has apparently injured his leg, according to a couple of sources and a photo. He's currently wearing a boot during a spot at SummerSlam last night. He did a dive spot to a table to Cody, and I guess he hit his ankle on the side of the table, and I guess it just smacked his knee. They're not sure if it's broken, possibly a hairline fracture, not 100% sure on the full details, but he is currently wearing a boot. So, I hope he's okay. And and Roman Reigns is back. So that's kind of more of like, you got to hurry and recover quick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about Daniel Bryan too, where he's saying that if he doesn't win the title at All In, he's out. Like, that's his doctors, and apparently he has even said on a recent podcast that a couple weeks ago that basically his doctors say like he's pretty much done as far as like his ability to wrestle anymore. And it like the verbiage I heard was something along the lines of the effects of previous injuries are now affecting his day-to-day, which to me sounds like his history of concussions is causing him issues now. And I'm like, yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Like I said, I just don't understand this. Like I said, I got concussed last year. Every once in a while, I still get some of my post-concussion syndrome symptoms, and I have to like take medicine for pains and headaches. And how do these wrestlers do it? They hit with walls and crap, and they still can get back up and keep going. I just tripped and fell at work and hit my head. And I still have the neck problem sometimes.
And the biggest irony is with all the stuff that Darby Allin's back goes through day to day, his ankles got broken instead of his spine, you know?
But you know, even in
Sorry, man,
professional
that his spine has adamantium in it. It's the only logical conclusion.
Well, even in professional sports, I don't know how the NFL players are able to play the games because they get concussions like all the time.
Yeah, but they at least have helmets.
Yeah. That's true. And we won't get into the juicy details of the fake chair narrative that they're talking about, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's get into Death Before Dishonor real quick. Like I said, I'll just breeze through just for the sake of just mentioning, so it doesn't sound like we skipped them. So for the 0 hour real quick, and also this is something that was rather quick, so we didn't do any predictions or nothing. So, you know, for, you know, the listeners worry like, hey, who did Jack pick? Well, we didn't pick anyone. We just watched the show, you know? But just real quick, the 0 hour had the Eminem Collection, Mason Man and Mansoor, which are very entertaining, by the way. They're pretty cool. I like their weird gimmick there.
Wait, who now?
The Eminem.
Oh, yeah, I like those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. They defeated Angelico and Serpentico in a tag team match, which again, why Serpentico? They keep bringing these guys into pay-per-views, whatever. Then we got Marina Sapir defeating Angelica Risk by submission. I mean, all I can say is, A, Angelica Risk got some exposure because she was only like a jobber on Dark and whatever, so at least she had got to appear in a bigger stage. The infantry, Captain Sean Dean and Cardi Bravo with Trisha Dora defeated Griff Garrison and Anthony Henry with Maria Kanellis there, tag team match. And finally, we have Top Flight, which is Dante and Darius Martin, defeating the Outrunners, Truth Magnum, and Turbo Floyd with Erica Lay in the background there. And I think all those just regular matches, there are no titles in the line or stuff like that. So now we can skip ahead to the actual event proper. The first one we had was the Beast Mortos versus Commander with Alex Abrantes in the background.
Yeah.
And I think Jupe's got some notes because right off the bat from the first match, they were doing some intense flippy shit.
Of course.
But I mean, intense that was like actual noteworthy and everything.
All right, so you know how the match started, you know, it's Ring of Honor. He's supposed to, you know, show the honor, give me a handshake. I shake your get out here.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's pretty much how Death Mortal was. So some of the things I caught here is that, oh man, the part where Commander was like, you know, trying to dive out the ring, but he threw him into the dude that hangs around with Commander or whatever.
Yeah, Abrantes.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of crazy.
Oh yeah. He jumped out. Mortals caught him and then threw him into Abrantes. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Mortals, he's a bigger, beefier dude. So, you know, you run that risk, you try to jump on him.
And then we kept laughing about the fact that Death Mortal, like Commander kept getting the taste smacked out of his mouth.
Yep.
He just kept smacking him. I mean, it was like, oh, okay. But the thing that kind of stood out to me, and I had a hard time getting it, where Commander was on the rope, Mortal, he caught him, threw him up, caught him, and then did a Samoan drop or something.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was
like
crazy.
Chuck, that's almost like a Zangief move, man. That's like a Zangief super, where Zangief
cool.
like grabs you, tosses you, catches you, just a pile driver. That's a Zangief thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you know, what's his name won the match, so there you go. I mean, after that, how can you? Oh yeah, he did a backbreaker and then a pile driver, and then that's how you won the match. But yeah, it's a match.
I haven't really followed recently how he changed to Mortos, Death Mortos. I knew him as Black Taurus back when he was in TNA or when he was in Impact and he was a part of Decay and all this stuff. And I've been watching his career and he's a solid big lucha libre wrestler style. I love him. He's just. I also loved like a little funny when he was in PK. He never spoke. He's always just every time he's been on the mic, never spoke. He's like, "Rrr." That's all he says, and I'm like, I love that because I love characters who just like say so little. Like that's the reason I love PCO. He's like, "Rrr." Like I love it. So I would love to just get like characters like them in a room and just do like pretend like a talk show, but it's just them. And it's like, tune in next week for like, and that's it. Like, oh my. Anyway, back to the actual match itself. Solid. It was a solid start. Great way to start off the pay-per-view. I do like Komandar, even though he's more of unfortunately, they've kind of turned him into a jobber. He's got a lot of talent, but the problem is I think the big issue is that he doesn't have any focus of direction. So it's kind of like, all the talent in the world's not really going to help you if you don't really know what the hell you're doing, where your next phase is. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, so
I would put him like,
oh,
well, no, I mean, like I honestly, I was thinking like in my head, I'm like, oh, dude, they should have him go for, they should have had him going after the, oh God, what was the match?
the international title or something, or
No, the TNT one.
oh,
Like that would be kind of cool. I could see him going after that kind of belt. Like I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But that's just I'm like, but wishful thinking. Either way, like I said, solid start, good spots, great way to start the pay-per-view, and yeah, that's pretty much all I really say about it. What do you think, Johnny?
Don't really remember too much about the match, but other than the fact that it's a lucha libre style match,
Johnny.
there's a lot of shit. Very technical. Of course, he's orthos. He's more of a I'm gonna beat the shit out of you kind of guy compared to Commander. But I don't know. It's a good way to start the match. But I will have to agree that Commander, like he's a good wrestler, but I don't think he doesn't have much character in him. Like, you know how all wrestlers, they have their scripts, they have their story, they have this, they have that, they have their little charisma. And I think that it's not just Commander, but just like several of the Lucha Libre wrestlers, they just generally don't have much personalities rather than what you see on ring. It's kind of like the Lucha Libre version of, I don't know, like Bryan Danielson, that he's very good on the ring, but he just doesn't have like that charisma that all the other wrestlers have. So that's what I've been noticing a lot. And I don't know, maybe it's also like the language barrier. Maybe it's just difficult to communicate like, hey, you need to, be more charismatic, like sell story, sell something. And then maybe it's just not, maybe it's just AEW mismanagement. They don't know how to approach things with the Lucha Libre wrestlers. Like, I don't know.
that's another thing that's a bit of wrestling news, which I really despise right now. The rumors that they want to change Ring of Honor into like AEW Ring of Honor or some kind of AEW thing instead of just leaving it as Ring of Honor. I'm not fond of that altogether. It just reminds me of how WCW got like dissolved into WWE, whatever it was back then.
Oh yeah.
Instead of like keeping it going somehow or something.
Yeah. Now I can see it from a perspective of maybe like, I don't know, they want to have like the trademark, like I guess like, hey, it's the AEW property, but in all actuality, like it's not even necessary to paste the AEW logo on it because everybody knows that, the current state of Ring of Honor is owned by AEW. So it's almost like not necessary for them to put the logo on it.
No, but
if you do watch Ring of Honor, I mean, honestly, it does already feel like an AEW 2.0. Like, it doesn't really feel that different from AEW.
Well, it has a better
Well,
definitely. But
one of the original. Well, yeah, I'm against that 100%. My mindset is like, if you're just gonna turn into a makeshift AEW, just sell the rights, dude. That's it. Just sell the rights to someone else. Hell, honestly, at this point, either sell it to the WWE, which they probably won't. They should. They probably won't. Or
But they'll do the same thing.
here's a
Though.
thought.
They'll just dissolve it all together and just have the library. Though I would rather have Ring of Honor as a thing continue on. You know.
Or my other suggestion is sell it to TNA. You can make TNA and Ring of Honor its own separate thing. They could own both rights, and they could have two separate shows. I mean, TNA
Now,
only does have one show.
Now, what they should have done with Ring of Honor, instead of them being preoccupied about let's paste the AEW logo on the Ring of Honor property, whatever, they just trademark it as an AEW thing. Maybe they should be more concerned about like, hey, how can we make Ring of Honor better? Because I see potential, but it's not like 100%. Because I'm going to be honest, sometimes some of their episodes are a little too repetitive and they're kind of a little bit on the boring side. So, or it feels like it's too long. So I feel like instead of just like, okay, I do like the app, the Ring of Honor app. I think it is cool to watch what's it called? The Ring of Honor Fight Club or something like that?
Honor Club.
Honor Club.
The Honor Club? Okay, it's cool to watch it. Like hey, every Thursday you can watch that shit. Like, it's cool. But I think down the road, they need to, just like how AEW have their programmings on regular TV stations, they should do the same with Ring of Honor. Because I think that would be more.
I think that's the only reason. I mean, I don't want them to do it, but if they do it, it has to be for a TV spot or something. Because if it was going to stay on the app, they won't even bother,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the only downside. And then if they could get like the right people behind it and like promote it the way like they should, it would be so nice. Because like I said, Ring of Honor just has so much potential there. Oh, speaking of Ring of Honor, Dalton Castle is out for the rest of the year because of the match against Roderick Strong. Apparently.
Now, that's the thing that I just hate about Tony Khan in general, that he really doesn't, I don't know, man, he doesn't really care about the rest of their safety, because how often do these guys get terribly injured and then they get, you won't see them for a while, and it just kind of sucks. Like,
Tony Khan is the kind of person who would buy their kid sports gear and then get mad at them for not getting into a sports league. It's like, that's not how that works. You actually have to invest to get it. It's like, no, I bought you the best equipment. Why don't you have trophies yet? It's like, motherfucker, like, you got to put more shit into it than that. Like, it's the same principle.
It's like working at a workplace with no workers' comp.
Yeah. He's using Ring of Honor's past legacy, because there's a lot there, to sustain it in the modern day. And the only people that will really watch Ring of Honor are the hardcore fans, and those that also, like, you guys who have Ring of Honor, have Honor Club, and you want to be invested, but you're not getting anything from your investment. And eventually, much like all investments that keep taking money from you, you'll eventually pull the plug because you're like, what the fuck am I doing? So it's sad, but we'll get back to that at the end, I guess. Let's move on to the next match.
All right. So next one we had the tag team match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. It was the conglomeration, Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii going up against Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. And unfortunately, the Undisputed Kingdom won and retained their Ring of Honor tag team titles. But it was a pretty good match. I do like Kyle O'Reilly. Pretty good kicks and stuff like that. I feel a bit bad for Ishii because he can't do much besides chop. So every match is in it is at least 5 minutes of chopping, of either him chopping the fuck out of you or him withstanding the other person chopping to show that, you can't stop me. Now, you did have a couple of badass moments. I remember there were a couple of like badass like power slams and stuff. There's one where the tag team did like kind of like their version of the Meltzer driver or whatever on him, and he just got like like that didn't stop him and stuff like that. He did kind of play the juggernaut role, but But yeah, it just sucks that they didn't win. But it was a good match. Do you have any specific notes in there? Or?
Yeah, how they won.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because the typical.
Oh, Fletcher.
Yeah.
Fletcher.
Nonsense. Anyway. Okay. Go ahead.
I thought it was. I just felt like I was watching it. And here's the thing: I like all of the people in it, but I'm sitting here thinking, "Fuck, this is a long match." Like, oh my god, I felt like I was like, what? I know it wasn't like actually long, but it
was
felt,
almost 20 minutes.
But it felt longer than that. It felt like a 30, 40-minute match. And I'm like, and I watch like I said, I watch New Japan. So I know what a long match should feel like and what it shouldn't feel like. This felt longer than it actually was because it was so slow paced. It was just like, it's like, whoa. I'm like, no, just fucking hit him already. I was getting sick of it. It was really irritating me. Although I will say the one thing that did make me laugh, and I laughed so hard because I haven't followed the new Ring of Honor in a while. So when they do the promo packages leading up to the match, that line made me laugh so hard because I love when people dog on Ishii for not having a neck.
Oh my gosh, they would not lay off.
The thing where it's like he's not neck strong. Matt Taven's like, how can he be strong? Matt, how can he be neck strong? He doesn't have one.
I know, they just would not lay off of that, man.
I was like, no, it's true. It's literally, I remember.
Big Ed became a wrestler.
That's an insult to Ishii.
Yeah.
All right, so, well, also a couple of other things. Yeah, the fact that, I forgot how we pinned. Oh yeah, Bennett ended up pinning O'Reilly due to the interference from Callis and Fletcher. And the thing is, I don't remember how they interfered. Honestly,
it was them running to the ring, and it was Fletcher and Callis. They came to the ring, and Callis was like to the referee, and then Fletcher came to the side. Did something.
Didn't he conk him with the title or something? He conked him with the title, I think.
Yeah. He hit him with the tag belt. Yeah, that was it. He hit him with one half of the tag belt, and then
Oh, the other thing of note for this match, Paul White is actually a part of Ring of Honor now.
I guess he's the new on-screen. He's a member. No, he's now they put him as an official member of the Ring of Honor board of directors, and I'm like
board of directors or something like that.
Yeah, and he forced the Undisputed Kingdom to defend their titles by putting them in this match. And the other thing that they were talking about was Aubrey being the ref for the match, and she's the first female ref for a Ring of Honor pay-per-view or something like that. So she said, Aubrey's making history today.
And she's double dipping into that money.
Oh yeah, might as well. Get some use out of that.
What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah.
Honestly, I really don't remember much about the match, and I don't know why, but I'm just not really invested in Kyle O'Reilly, the Undisputed Kingdom. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't really.
This whole group, the conglomeration or whatever, can you explain that to me? Because I don't watch Ring of Honor, because apparently it was like made by Mark Briscoe or something.
Yeah, it's Briscoe, Cassidy, O'Reilly, and Ishii. It's just, I don't know. They just suddenly start teaming up together all of a sudden.
Like what? Like is there a reason behind it? Like, is there a reason behind it? Like they just was there a big bad they had to fight, or was it just they decided to do it?
I mean, it just kind of seemed random, but it just kind of seemed like since Cassidy lost, Statlander and the best friends, he just suddenly just said, "I'll just join you guys" or whatever. And
because of whatever.
Yeah, and then it just became that, and I like how get all fired up and stuff, or arguing against each other. Briscoe always comes in and kind of keeps them on point. Remember that, don't argue among yourself.
It's all about the unity. We got to have the unity. Now we got to go up against the EVPs and all that stuff. We can't be fighting each other, man.
Yeah,
I like him.
But those are the best parts of the interviews, though.
Yeah, when Mark is in them.
Mark is one of the most entertaining wrestlers. Like, just he's so funny. He's
That's
like
what my
he's just
cousin
so
was saying.
on.
That was my cousin.
He
was
never.
saying he liked them, because he liked the Briscoes back in, when they were both in Ring of Honor, like back in the day and stuff. And he always talked about how much he liked how. Well, he said Jay was crazy, but Mark was a little crazy too. But it's still weird seeing Mark having to be all of the crazy without Jay.
Yeah, Jay was crazy. Like Jay was like more stoic. He was more like Mark would come in going like full like gonna bite a pillow crazy, and then Jay would just be like the very stoic like, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna beat your ass. And then Mark's like, yeah, then we're gonna bite you. You're like, what? you're like, what? Yeah, it was just so funny. But like I said, like I wish he said he's never gonna do a tag team again, which I fair. But his style of tag team could only work with like a person like a Jay who's like a straight man. But yeah, I mean, like I said, my big issue is it was just a long felt match. I don't know. It just it's kind of like what Johnny said. There's like hard to be invested in the match because you don't care.
Yeah, I was getting a bit out of it as well as I was watching it. I mean, I like Ishii. Oh, well, I'm sorry. The fact they started off that slap fest between Ishii and Bennett to the fact that Ishii even started bleeding. But I don't know if he had like a little blade in his hair when he was like, he was like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm questioning Ishii here. I don't think Ben is that cool.
So yeah, it's a match. But now here's the next match that really got more of our attention. We had Diamante going up against Layla Hirsch in a Texas death match. And especially because the rarity, because we don't see women engaging in that kind of stuff like too often. Yeah. I mean, it happens once in a while, but it's not like like Moxie's every third match. But here, like, oh man, they're like kicking each other. They were using the thumbtacks and stuff. They had ladders and everything. They had things covered in barbed wire. It was just insane, but it kept us invested though. It was insane. I also like their different looks. Diamante, I barely recognized her because her hair is a bit more curlier for that look, and Layla Hirsch, just different work, seeing her wear something else. Because yeah, I guess they were both dressed a bit more plain clothes, kind of sort of. So that was a good look for both of them and everything. And yeah, I think you got more notes because it's fogging. The only thing I remember the most is they brought the thumbtacks, they did the stuff, whatever, and then like, oh wait, hold on, more thumbtacks. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, this match was crazy. I was just jotting down things left and right, just like I remember stuff from this match. It was just so crazy. I mean, I liked how it started off when they, what's name came out first, right? She was sitting there with the chair just waiting. Then they had a little chair sword fight thing going on. That looked kind of silly. And then what else do I have here? Oh yeah, Layla hit Diamante with the chair and the bag, and she threw Layla off the runway and almost got her counted out. But once in the ring, oh my gosh, it was like so many different moves. I don't even know where to start. And then the fact that what's her name busted her up first. And then the thing what you said with the thumbtacks, like she who forgot who put the thumbtacks down?
Diamante, I think.
Diamante did?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Sorry guys, I'm skipping straight to the thumbtacks. Yeah,
There was three memorable spots. The first was for me. I mean, because the rest of it was like it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like when you see so many hardcore matches, it's kind of like, okay, what next? Like what could you do? But the most memorable ones, I know how Diamante duct taped Layla's hand.
That was coming up. That was coming up.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh yeah, that was coming up, man. I have that here.
Sorry.
That really, because I've never seen that ever before. I don't watch enough wrestling. And I was going to say, have you ever seen that at CMLL, New Japan, All Japan, anything?
No, it's usually gimmicked handcuffs, or zip ties. I one time saw it zip ties, and it was like a terrible mistake. because they thought, oh, well, we could get out of these easily, but then the person who did it too tight. So then like the ref had to make it look like, oh, he slipped out. So he was like leaning over with like a little box cutter, like, don't cut him. And it's like, oh, he broke out. Like it was during an indie show I saw years ago. And then the two other things I remember that happened, I wrote it down, was her, like, you know, they were going back and forth, and then Layla duct taping Diamante to the table.
That's here. That's here. I never seen it. It was just so crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that I'm like, wow, that's almost genius. That's kind of I was like, that's kind of genius. I kind of dig that. That was kind of cool. But you know, you could go, but I had a comment about the finish, but I'll let you.
Only I do want to mention, I like how the thumbtack still got into play, because even when they jumped through the table, the tacks were still there. You know what I mean? And so she went through the table, and they were covered in more thumbtacks and stuff like that. So that was pretty crazy.
The duct tape part where what's name was duct tape to the rope, and then what's name took the got the sandal with the
La chancla.
Yeah, and started hitting her, like, you know, digging into her head. Excuse me, Mark, will you please read this? That quote there.
She's not having babies anytime?
I said no, that's wrong.
Oh. The amount of duct tape.
No.
Let me read the whole thing.
No, read the quote.
I know, but it's funny with the context. Diamante duct taped her to the rope and hit her with a chair, and then a sandal, with nails, and dug into her head with Hirsch pleading, "What the fuck is this shit?"
No, that's what you said.
Oh, I said that. Oh.
You said that.
Yeah.
That's what that happened. That's what he said. I actually took that quote. I was like, you know, that's interesting. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Mark said that.
I know. And the thing is, I forgot if I messaged either the whole chat of ours, or I just told Johnny, but I was like, whoa, Diamante's sitting here with the chancla.
Yeah. You know what's funny is now they added
reaction.
In the 2K24, they actually added a chancla as a weapon you could pull from under the ring. And they added that, and they added a football, which like, I guess if you play as Pat McAfee, you could literally do a move where you could punt a football and hit someone's head. And then like they added the chancla because Zelina Vega really, really wanted it. And 2K24 guys thought it was so funny. And then like so in the move, because in the game you could throw weapons, so it's so funny to have a chancla and throw it at someone, and someone go, oh, like they just got hit with like a wall. It's so funny. Like they fall down. It's so funny.
Now, the other thing that I made a quick note of, which we were talking about earlier with all the thumbtacks, when after she poured the bag on her, and then she did the I think she tried to do the splash on her after she poured the thumbtacks on top of her, right? And this is I think it was your quote for that one.
Wait.
Yeah, go your quote.
Oh, right. Let me just read the context too. She got, okay. Hirsch took out a bag of thumbtacks, slammed Diamante on them. She then got out of the ring, got another bag, poured over Diamante, another bag of thumbtacks, that is, climbed the ropes, trying to do a splash, but Diamante rolled out of the way, and Hirsch landed right on them when I said, she's not having any babies soon.
That was just so nutty. I'm sorry, you just said some crazy things. I just say, to remember what you said there. There you go.
Or not having babies anytime soon, something like that.
Yeah. No, I quoted you. That's exactly what you said.
No.
I wrote it down time you said it.
Johnny, your thoughts on the chancla and the rest of the match?
Crazy.
I don't really remember too much about the match except for the chancla incident, and that's kind of funny. But other than that, I really don't remember too much. Leda Hirsch, she's so a good wrestler, so it's so nice to see her wrestle, and technically she is. But other than that, don't really remember too much about it.
But and then you guys didn't talk about the finale of the match.
Yeah, because we were leaving after you.
So when she did the splash, she actually undershot it. So she got on the top rope, she duct taped her to the table, she did a moonsault, and she undershot it, which means she didn't jump all the way. She just went down. And so what happened was when she did the fall down, only her knees went through Diamante and her hand, she had stupidly had her hand outstretched and went wham to the table. So her hands went like wham to the ladder when she was falling down. So her hand actually, I think she might have actually broke her hand.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why at the end of the match, she's like this, like, yeah. Like she was like,
I thought that was just good selling.
Nope. I think she actually broke her hand.
The table went into business for itself.
Don't work for me, bro.
But no, like I said, pretty solid, kind of paint by numbers, hardcore match. Just kind of, it was cool though. There's a couple cool spots. I was just kind of like, for me, I'm not really a hardcore kind of wrestler fan unless you need it for a story.
Well, for me, in my case, I'm a fan of Diamante, so I'm glad she got getting some spotlight. You know, you would never think of her in a pay-per-view because they just don't use her as well. She's always stuck in dark elevation. So I'm just glad to see her get something.
Well, if you know about Diamante, there's a reason that that is. She has a bad habit of potatoing people, so people don't want to work with her. So that's kind of why.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Does she sometimes, the way when you see her wrestling, if you see it quick enough, doesn't she almost look like a shorter Tessa Blanchard?
she looks like if Tessa Blanchard was left in the microwave too long.
No, God.
I don't know. This can't. I'm sorry. I had a hard time with that type of description.
You ever put Tupperware in the microwave for too long? It starts going like warping. That's Diamante. She's that for Shayna Baszler.
Really, you the match.
Okay. So next one, wow.
The match was Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, but I love Diamante. Let's be nice. But anyways, we have
Wait.
I can't love her too much because I'm gonna have Hogan after me, Kiera Hogan after me. I don't want that.
Oh no.
But anyways, the next one is the Pure Wrestling Rules match for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, and I mean, real quick, the two rules that stand out the most is only one close-handed fist allowed, and you only have 3 rope breaks after that. Sucks for you, son. And that kind of thing. And of course, no eye gouging, ball kicking, none of the stuff that would be cheating. So anyways, we got Wheeler Yuta going up against Lee Moriarty for the title. And I guess Utah was the champion again, because that's all he ever is the pure champion. It's almost always him. Every other match is every other match for the pure title is always either to stop Utah or Utah gain the title back, right? But anyway,
he's the first ever 3-time. He's the first ever 3-time pure champion. That's why. So they just keep putting it on him. I don't know why.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a pretty good match. I liked it. Yeah, I like how much more technical it is because of the nature of the rules and stuff. It is a more technical wrestling match type thing, and just all the crazy moves and octopus holds and a whole bunch of crazy shit that we're doing. I think did you have some notes there, Jupes? Or?
Well, not too many. For me, I was like, I was expecting this to be very drawn out because one, I just don't care about Yuta anymore. But I haven't for like a good couple of years now. But yeah, the match was, I think, nicely paced, and I like the ending of the match. How Lee won the match. How he was out of the rope race, but he used the rope to his advantage to pin Yuta.
Yeah,
I thought that was actually
genius.
Cool.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant strategy. Even when what's his name? When I forgot his name. Oh, I just forgot his name. Jonathan Gresham. When he was the pure champion, he had the same exact strategy where what he did was he ran out of rope breaks and he was defending the title, and he literally got the opponent like outside the ring, and he was like hooked using the ropes and was like giving him a headlock with the ropes. And since the opponent and him ran out of rope breaks, they just like basically just passed him out with the ropes. So I'm like, yeah, that's brilliant, man.
Yeah, I thought that was very impressive. I was very impressed with that. And the little thing at the end where you thought that Yuta wasn't going to, like probably act like a whiny little baby, like probably like someone like Moxley, but he was like, he showed that respect and he gave him the belt. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I like that. I love that match. I thought it was fantastic. I honestly, the only issue I had with it, the crowd was dead as shit. I was so mad because I was like, the crowd was just like.
See, the problem is they just saw that Diamante and Layla Hirsch match and they were like, yeah. You know, they probably still on that because of how crazy that was. And then you have the little slowdown here. And they're like, this, you know, they probably still reeling from that.
Probably. I was just still like, I was like, man.
Wrestling in my wrestling program.
Yeah, exactly.
I will not stand for this, sir. You know, like.
Yeah, that's the thing that always makes me laugh when I hear people say, this is where the best wrestle. I'm like, no. Like, you, first of all, no. But second of all,
you like
that's actual wrestling. No, you like the entertainment bullshit. This is actual wrestling. And
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I like it from a technical point. And it's not for everyone, and that's cool. But it was a great way to it was a great match. I loved it. I thought it was almost match of the night, but I actually changed my opinion after finishing the pay-per-view. But that was halfway through, I considered that my match of the night, but it's second place. I'll give it second place. It was a fantastic match. What do you think? Johnny?
Oh yes, I thought that the match was very cool and very technical. You know, it's like one of those really long matches you have to really watch from the beginning to the end. And yes, you know, they've had matches like that before, but I think it's interesting because I think Wheeler Utah has always won these matches.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for now it was kind of interesting that Lee Moriarty won this one, and I think he barely won it. Like it was still very challenging for him to win the match. So you know that's pretty good. I think there was a little bit I don't know, like some things were a little unexpected in that aspect.